let me get you some.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Welcome, welcome, people. Mundo in the house. We got Darth Ferris, and we got Dave from Electrum Sabercrafts.
How's it going?
Man, we are going to have a badass time tonight. So, Dave, man, I am just stoked that you are here, dude. And it's such a great honor to have you here again. And Jim's on. Jim, welcome to the show, man. Zialis is Jim, and he is just a longtime good friend, and he's awesome, man. And we're gonna have some others come and hang out and chat with us too. So I'm glad you guys had a pretty good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend too, man. And you guys watch Yellowstone?
No, but I just saw a commercial where apparently Kevin Costner is doing a hiking or trek expedition between Yellowstone and Yosemite or something like that.
That's cool. That's wild.
Yeah, man. So if you're into westerns and good shows, man, Yellowstone's the way to go, dude. And it's too bad because it's almost like a Star Wars show, man. It's about family and family values type stuff. So check it out. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out, man. You'll get hooked real quick, man.
Yeah,
real quick.
I've heard lots of good things. For me, we've been doing, my daughter's finally getting into Star Wars. So we finished episode 3 today, which was awesome.
Oh, awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, did you record her reaction when Anakin gets...
No, I didn't need to. I've kind of done things a little unorthodox where we've played through Lego Star Wars, so she kind of knows story beats already. She knows like who all these characters are. She's got her favorite characters already. She likes Ahsoka, and stuff like that. But she's the surprises are all gone at this point. So she's
well, because I've seen react video to that girl who just watches Rogue One at the ending scene, and it's funny to watch it because she's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that might be the next
Chet
one.
Chet and Titan, welcome, guys. I'm glad y'all are here, man. Some more regulars, so we got the regulars coming in here pretty quick. So that is awesome, guys. I wish I could get my daughters as much into Star Wars as me, but unfortunately they're like, nah, Dad, that's okay. I'm like, oh.
I think
all right, that's all right.
Don't try too hard. Just kind of like if they see that you like something, they're like, oh, Dad likes this. Maybe it's cool, right? Like just kind of slowly bring them into it. Also,
Don't
snacks.
force it. Yeah.
Bribe them with snacks. That helps.
Oh, my girls are teenagers now, man. So they're into parties and all that good stuff now. So
Oh yeah, you're not cool anymore. Sorry, that time has passed.
yeah, Dad's past cool now. God, I love them though. Maybe when they get a little bit older and they start appreciating it with their friends, maybe their friends take them to watch. And maybe now I should watch it with Dad. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm still mine.
Man, what's up, dude? Engine, ship parking, too close. Shake walls, saloon doors open. Even gentlemen drinks are.
Nice, man.
Good on Scott. And all the drinks are on Scott. Oh, here you go, Scott. I'll drink to that, buddy.
I can get behind it.
Yeah.
I like mead.
Man. So, Dave, let me ask you, man, what was going through your head when you started Electrum Sabercrafts, dude? Like, was it an all of a sudden thing going on, or was it kind of like you had already been doing it for a while and you wanted to just take it to that next step?
So
what were
way back when that was kind of percolating in my mind. I was already an avid Star Wars fan and lightsaber collector, and I had lightsabers from, I started off like a lot of people with the old Ultra Sabers special, and I had a Genesis Bad Axe. And I had some local friends who also were into Sabers, Saber Forge and stuff like that. And the Saber Legion was kind of becoming a thing. And I started helping those guys early on when they just started it with all of their website and everything like that. So I ran the Alberta charter here in Calgary. And because of that, and because of where I worked at the time, which was an electronics manufacturer, I was working with Curtis, who would eventually become my business partner when we started Electrum. And we were fixing these Sabers all the time. And this is way back before like chassis were really becoming a thing. And we're just looking at them going like, why are these built this way? We could like come up with a way better system for this. We could come up with a way better system for this. And then we kind of thought to ourselves, why don't we try it? Why don't we give it a shot? And we were at that time developing some stuff with wireless technology where we were working at the time. So we, nobody's really made this step into like the Internet of Things for lightsabers. We should give that a shot. So we developed a lightsaber core, the diadium system, as you guys know, that built-in Bluetooth technology, mobile application. It was kind of like the first of its kind to hit the market, and came out with the Errant model, which was based off of a migration era sword hilt. Actually, I'm very much into that kind of period, and I wanted something that felt like a weapon. And we thought, we'll do this. This will be a really cool thing to do part-time, and it took off immediately. Like we had a ton of interest. The technology was brand new. Nobody else had anything like what we were doing. We had a ton of interest. The technology was brand new. Nobody else. And then it just kind of took off from there, and we kind of like got to a point where we were working 2 full-time jobs a couple of years in, and it got to the point where I was expecting my first kid, and Curtis was like working a lot because he partly owned the company that we had been working at. So we made the transition where I would take over and kind of like step it up from there and make it my one full-time job instead of the 2 full-time jobs.
Wow.
Kind of just went from
James,
there.
welcome.
Hey man, how's it
Welcome,
going? How you guys
James.
doing?
Good. And welcome to the show, dude. Yeah, man, I got all the grades in here right now.
Going.
Never late to a party, guys. So Dave, it went really fast. It sounds like the minute you started getting going, it just snowballed into everything gone pretty quickly. And with the hilt designs that you come up with, and I love a lot of the hilt designs, man. You did some great. Was it particularly you for the hilt designs, or was it a combination of maybe you and Curtis together and got some other people involved with the designs, or how did the designs come about, really?
So I'm the main designer here at Electrum, and I always have been. And I do all of our CAD work and 3D designs. I'm completely self-taught in SolidWorks, which is like a nightmare to teach yourself, but here you are. But when it comes to the designs, it's never just like a one person sits down and arbitrarily decides this is what we're going to make. It always goes through a round of revisions and what we want to do and inspirations. So even though I was the one kind of putting pen to paper, as it were, when it came to design elements and ideas, it was very much the combination of everybody's input at Electrum. Even like when we kind of like at our biggest, we had several technicians and hilt assembly people and marketing and what have you, and everybody got gets to put in their input. And we would actually prototype all of our stuff on a like a specialized 3D printer that they use for dental molds and stuff like that, like very precise to kind of get the fit and finish. And that would actually make it so that we could go through like 16 iterations of just one part just to see how it fit together without having to, commit to CNCing every single thing until we were like, okay, this is the direction we want to go in. So I would say that like the design side of things, while it's kind of like that's what I do. Everybody who's had an affiliation with Electrum has, gotten a sneak peek at those things and gotten to put in their 2 cents about how we build it and everything. Because like, if you're a designer, you can't live your life going like, I know better than everybody, because then you make something and then you go give it to somebody to build and they're like, this doesn't fit together, or like, this is a weird way to install this or something like that, right? So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I actually have a question for you, Dave. Would you say with how Electrum Sabers took off, as well as all the developments that went into the company, would you say, because recently in the last like year or two, I've seen comments and reviews saying that their hilt didn't arrive on time and there were delays and whatnot. Would you say that some of the aspects in your life and in other people that have worked on Electrum Sabercrafts in their lives contributed to some of the delays that happened?
The biggest issue that happened with the delays was due to a development company that we brought on to do work for us. So when we made the transition from, Curtis and I having this partnership, Curtis was the developer of the electronic side. He did all of the, the code base and everything for the electronics. And when we started moving away from that, and Curtis was, becoming more busy, we knew that we needed to bring on somebody who could handle where we wanted to go and where we wanted to develop. And we had already had some things on the go at that point during that transition. So we searched around and we found this highly lauded company locally in Calgary. And we brought them in and contracted them to do numerous updates to the D3 platform. And then when the chipsets for that became scarce due to the global chip shortage, we needed to transition to a new core. Luckily, we still had many D3s that we had built at a premium price, sitting ready for hilts. And we were, by the time that this development was going to be finished with this new core, we would have been able to kind of go, oh, hey, we're ready to launch this. Anybody who's still in the queue would be able to upgrade to it at no cost. And it was going to be, a big step in the right direction. What we didn't know was that the owner of that company was facing a lot of financial issues that he did not disclose. And they essentially misled and gaslit us for well beyond the project scope. And the longer it went on, the harder it was for us to source components and to construct stuff. So we stretched out every possible avenue to get D3 cores and hilt out the door. And when that started happening, we were like, okay, well, we need to make this right for people. And we kind of kept them informed based on the information that they provided to us. But they had no intention of delivering. They had actually continued to send us invoices, and we were well over 150% of the scope. And it was quite. It got to a point where every time we would push back, it became more aggressive. And I don't want to say the word desperation, but like our reliance on them delivering this project became critical in October of 2023. And that's when we said, I had to put the foot down and say, guys, you have to deliver on this because you're late. Our customers are upset and you need to get this figured out. And okay, we're going to sign some new paperwork. We're going to get this done. And immediately following getting everything down there, getting another deposit on the remainder of the work, which we've already overpaid for, they terminated half their staff. They made it out like, we're just waiting for some funding. You guys can just contract them directly and it'll come off your final bill. And that didn't happen. The guy bankrupted the company himself so that he could take whatever from the company.
That sounds like a Ponzi scheme right off the bat or something.
It was bad. And at that point, we still had the developers that were laid off, the firmware and the app sites were like, okay, you know what? These guys screwed us. We managed to recover allegedly, they managed to recover a bunch of the code. They can finish it up. It's fine. We've already got the hardware. The boards are here. We can get this done. And they proceeded to treat that as essentially a free paycheck for the next couple of months, until we got to a point where we needed to bring on somebody new. We brought in an independent developer to review it. And that's when it was revealed that everything that they had done on that was actually a total fabrication. None of the stuff that they had promised or even spec'd into it were at all possible. It was basically a board that would never be finished, and it would cost too much to actually finish up. And at that point, we had to toss everything. We had to go, you know what? This is on us. We let this happen. We let this company mislead us and grift us well beyond what we should do, which I personally own. I really should have seen the writing on the wall numerous times with these guys. And the threats and everything that they sent us. I still have a voicemail on my phone telling him this, where he was saying he was going to come after me and my family and financially ruin us if we didn't pay for this invoice that was conjured out of nowhere for features that I had personally worked on, which was wild.
Wow, so definitely some
hurdles, everything, and bring on the proffies, and then eventually the golden harvest. They do take longer to install, which is why we've doubled up, staff and everything like that. But it's been a long road. It was a hard 2024 for sure because of this.
Man.
And we're still here. We're still crushing through as many sabers as humanly possible. I'm usually burning the midnight oil. If anybody is ever looking for me, I'm usually at my desk coding something or flashing.
I certainly want to commend you, man. I certainly want to commend you with all the hurdles that you had to overcome, and certainly, my D3 that didn't work. I can imagine that was just part of what the hurdles you were going through, within the company that certain things were just probably getting overlooked or something, and it wasn't your fault because you were still dealing with all of those hurdles and challenges, not only with maybe some of your employees but also with those other companies that were literally taking things from you and literally just sucking the life out of your company. And and I always say, you give second chances to people and everything else on top of that. But when I see somebody trying to make amends and trying to make things right for things that happen, which is the direction that you've been going, and in all the negative comments that I see and everything like that, there's a lot of people that have the animosity because they're waiting for their sabers. Yes, I'm one of them. But people got to understand, if things like this are going on, and this is what I want to tell the people that are watching right now, and especially for those who are waiting for their sabers, guys, I'm still waiting for mine to get done, and I'm not worried about it. He is working on that and he is trying to make things right. And you guys have to understand challenges with companies like this. If he's trying to make things right and the people that screwed him out of your stuff, give him a chance. Let him catch up with it, guys. Because, in the long run, if he's making things right and he's going to give you the saber that is well worth the wait, then wait just a little bit longer. I mean, it's going to be worth the wait, and especially with the Prophet 3.9 or the Golden Harvest, stuff like that. I'm telling you guys, give the man a chance. Let him catch up with everybody and everything and everyone. When things get right, you get your saber. You're going to be happy. I want you guys to come and tell me on the show that you got your saber and it is working right. It is working good, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the direction and we're going to give Electrum Sabers due process of what they need to. They're working on getting things right. So give them the chance. Let him get it right. Let him get it right. And I promise you, when all the dust clears, he gets everything settled, he gets everything right, things are where they should to be, boards are where they should to be, chassis are where they should to be. I'm telling you, Electrum Sabers is going to go far. Give him that chance. We're here. I mean, like I said, I'm one of you too, and I'm not worried about it, because when things are right, things are going to get right, and that's all that matters, And he's got a family just like all of us do too. You got to understand that when people are, yeah, he's got this as a business. but he's got a family as well. He's got to provide for his family. And those that try to take the business away from him, and he has a hard time to provide for his family because of this, hey, give the man a chance, guys. Give the man a chance. And I'm not saying that you don't have a right to be mad, because you do. But in the long run, it may not be his fault because of all the challenges that he had to face. And that is true for all of these makers as well. They have challenges on top of the certain things. They may get sick. They may have family emergencies. They may have all of this kind of stuff going on with their families, you know? And and the thing is that if you come and you have let's say you've got a partner in life, that you're starting a company and you've got a partner that basically screws you out of everything, what are you going to do? Are you going to blame the next guy for that? No, you're not going to blame the next guy. You're going to blame your partner, but the thing is, you're going to try to do what's right for your customers, just like what he's trying to do. And and that's all this is that he's making amends. He's going to get there. Give him a chance. And just like any other installer too, any other installer, things go on in people's lives, whether it be this kind of work, whether it be another China job, it doesn't matter. Everybody's got lives. Everybody's got different jobs. Everybody's got this. Everybody's got that. We love Star Wars. That is our hobby, right? And James does such a great job of things too. I mean, Mountain Sabers. For those of you who don't know,
it's been one hell of a week, bro. It's been one hell of a week.
Well, I'm glad you
Actually,
came
not
on.
over yet. Yeah,
well, I believe it.
I didn't want to miss it, man. It's like haven't been on in a while, and I wanted to see you guys. And pleasure to meet you, Dave, man. It's been great, man. I owned one of your Sabers for a long time, and I still have the internals, man, because I love the internals. I love the slide switch and the touch switch and all that. That is like my favorite of all time, man. I think it's
I'm glad you like that. Those were quite the circus to actually.
I have the same board. I have the what is it? Yeah, that's the one. It's close to that.
I love it. I love it.
There's
man.
that one, and then there's there's like a Sith variant, and then we have like a couple of some like circuit board kind of design ones, and some that are like this guy here.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's the one I have.
The Ion.
That's cool.
I have another. Oh yeah. It comes in gold too, like the one that's on this Saber. This one's actually got.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Look at that.
That's like my favorite.
That is great design, by the way. I like that, man.
It really still works great, man.
That's an EvoFlex, I believe, right?
Nope. This is the EvoFlex.
Oh, it looks. Oh, okay. Sorry, it looks like.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, my bad.
And I've got the EvoFlex, and eventually I'd like to get the Scion. Eventually.
I actually do, Dave. I actually do own an Electrum Saber. Although technically it's not. I got it secondhand off of a guy on the Dark Wolf Saber forum. Basically, it's your version of the Dark Saber. But what he did was he modified it where he took a little retention screw. He undid the Tsuba and put a little retention screw on the back and fit an LGT Xeno core in it. So the best one that would have fit in this case was the specialty cores, the ones with the speaker charger on the bottom. But it works really well all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because the inside is like a 1 inch through.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a snug fit. But thankfully, I don't have to do any I don't have to do any major maintenance. All I have to do is just unscrew the top part right here, and just and plug in my Profi board for Arduino. So it all works out.
Yeah, the new chassis too are very similar, where they can slide.
You must have been reading my mind, bro, because I was just gonna ask you about the new chassis. God, that looks great, man.
Yeah, this one actually has the the LEDs
You had the ring.
for
Yeah,
the
man.
Evo Flex, right? So it lights up.
Yeah.
Um,
Look at that.
and then
That's cool. See, I like that.
oh, and on the other Saber I showed you, it's actually a full metal chassis on the inside with battery sled and
Wow, cool.
crystal chamber. This one, if I could just put it in there,
Man, that looks great,
Yeah.
Dave.
we'll just like light up the venting.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Dude. Yeah.
And then it has, this is the golden. It's so bright, I can't even like look at it.
I know it. No shit. It is very bright.
But and then like the
Sick,
standard
man.
edition, has the similar. It's just got the label.
I like the color. I like the
Yeah,
color.
we,
Like the
um,
new chassis,
We've been
man.
experimenting with material. So this is like an ABS, very like soft. So if you drop it, it's not gonna like crack. Versus like a really hard brittle plastic or something like that. Comes in a lot of different colors. I like the green because I was actually when I was designing it and I was looking at the materials, I saw it. And when I saw the material, I was like transported back to the 90s. I was like, this is like the N64 controller. So I had to.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
With like the wiring channels and everything like that, right? So that's why I did it in that material. But yeah, like the chassis, it just has like a hookup that goes to the switch and lighting assembly, which is modular between both the Profi and the Golden Harvest. So they just pop right in.
That's great.
And they're really
good.
like once they're actually assembled, they're quite easy to just pop into the Saber with no solder work, right? You just have to set the switch properly, which is pretty easily.
Yeah, cores are great, man. When you have cores that you could swap out to anything, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
Which is why
sure.
we have the empty option, which we didn't historically have, right? But with the way that the cores are so modular now, it just made sense to kind of have that option for folks. But people still tend to buy installed because it's just easier to have somebody else do the work for most people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then we also do a lot of customization work now. Like a lot of people send in Sabers or order Sabers specifically to have them etched or painted or have different things done to them, leather wraps. Eli, who does all of our artwork and everything, he has been doing a lot of really, really crazy stands and stuff over the last couple of weeks, which is awesome, including a Mass Effect themed one, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, wow.
It actually goes with, did I bring it? Yeah, I did. It goes up with our N7 Saber here that's signed by Mark Meir and Jennifer Hale.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, it's got the N7 on the side.
Damn.
And then it's getting converted
color.
to Golden Harvest, which is why it's hollow right now. But yeah, so that one's been on the go for a little bit.
I like those colors.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun.
So, which board are you preferring? Either the Golden Harvest or the Profi, or are they just like, huh?
Oh, it's all about the Golden Harvest for me.
For you, okay.
Like the programming of it is so intelligently done, and the way that it's designed, that it's very approachable for even layman people. And has it has Wi-Fi, which is awesome. That was a direction that we were actually working towards on the Diadium platform way back. Even with the same chip idea was on the horizon. So when we were kind of like brought into conversation with the Golden Harvest folks, I was like, you guys have already got it. Like it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted to see in a lightsaber. And it works so easily. Like you just, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, you know why. It's very easy to troubleshoot the board, and it's very intelligent with how it is assembled. It's very easy to wire. It's very easy to diagnose. If you screwed up or wired something in reverse, or something went wrong with your blade polarity or something like that, the board will just say, hey, this is, I can't boot up.
Wrong.
Mhm.
Wow.
Again,
Good to know, because I got 2 on the way, so I can't wait to use them. They're going to be great. Yeah. So.
awesome. They're so fun. Like it's plug and play. It feels like it's so great.
Nice.
Yeah, and how it supports all the fonts. You just drop the fonts directly into the Wi-Fi editor, the Wi-Fi commander, and it loads them wirelessly. It converts them, and then they work. They just work.
Wow.
That easy. It's the culmination of everything we here wanted to do, and it's there. It's ready to go, and it's for everybody, which is great. It's a very awesome.
A lot of people were asking for that kind of a transfer, because cable and it's great and all, but transferring to SD to this to that, it's just crazy. I mean, it gets to be overbearing for some people who just want to turn it on and just go to town,
And like with the USB-C seedling that they have that charges the board and lets you do like data and everything, like that is how a modern piece of electronics should work.
That's a V2 though. That's special for that board, right?
Yeah, that is special for this board. You can wire USB-C to charge Profi as well, and then have data access. But the seedling,
but the old seeding module will not work with the new board. I was told so.
Yeah, this is the new seedling and board. It's fast. It charges great. It's got a vocal menu that lets you know what's going on. Mine's programmed as Darth Maul, which is
awesome. Sweet.
Yeah, I could go on and on about Darth Maul, but
does that accept the UI packages too? Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. All the UI.
It's Darth Maul right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so great. So great. 10 out of 10. Like I love all of the stuff that Brian Connor's doing with all those UI. I have like so many of them loaded up. Like I said, my daughter likes Ahsoka. So her favorite is Ahsoka, which is cool.
She's great.
That is awesome, man. Awesome. Now, do you go ahead?
Hal,
Dr. Chris, do you have any questions?
That was great.
No, I was just going to say that the UI that Brian Connor has come out with is incredible. In fact, I think the recent one he did was HAL 9000 from 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, he's doing mine so that it calls me Dave.
Oh, that's
so that's going to be in the for sure. As soon as I download that, I'm going to be showing that off because it's fun.
That's great. Good stuff. That's what it's all about.
Now, when you
there it is.
Oh yeah. Now, when you go through the process of starting Sabers and your team, now does your team go? Okay, so when you get a freshly made body, a hilt, and then it goes to the next step of starting the wiring process, do you have individual teams like you got your table set where you've got your team of wires, you got your team of chassis chassis painters and so forth. So do you have sections where you've got teams of people working on each step of the saber, or do you have like maybe 2 or 3 people working on one saber and then it goes out? Like, how does that process go within making a hilt?
It's a little bit of organized chaos in the sense that everybody knows how to do a little of everything. So whenever we're assembling, hilts or saber electronics, the electronic side, because it's a modular system, can be done kind of at the same time as the hilt production. Previous to the catching up of the backlog and everything from the theft, there would be basically somebody who's just sitting there flashing boards, and somebody who's just sitting there putting neopixels together and getting all of them together. I actually have a back-end program that I've linked to our store that accumulates all of the customers' data for the hilt and prints it out onto modular tags. So the hilt gets a tag, the switch that is supposed to be made for it gets a tag. And so that when you build it, not only do you have like an itemized list of just like everything that's supposed to be on there, you can hand the switch tag off to, you know, whoever's doing switches that week. And that person could literally go through and build all the switches in order and have them nice, ready to go, already assembled. It's a little bit different now because the switches are more integrated into the emitter section. So it's kind of done more as you're going through. So the chassis are done in a big batch. And then as you're building the hilt, you get the board, you make sure that it has everything that was supposed to be loaded to it. And then you'll finish off the switch plate and get it ready to go because the actual module is done. You just need to add the switch to it. So it's a little bit different now. But essentially, it kind of comes down to, hey, we need more people installing this week than we need people assembling. So everybody move on to chassis assembly or onto, you know, testing and packing or whatever it is, right? It's still a little bit kind of like, I don't want to say chaotic, but it changes week to week depending on how slammed we are with other aspects, like how many messages come in and something like that. And we don't have as many people on board as we used to because of the theft. But we're still working, you know, around the clock with everybody, all hands on deck all the time building. Even Eli, artist, like he's slammed with everything that he does. And he still spends time assembling and testing chassis and packing things and stuff like that. Like we are very much pedal to the metal all day, every day. There has not been a slow or break day at Electrum for you know, a long time.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine, man. Again, with the hurdles, and especially now that you had a hurdle with DHL, right? That they were on strike or something like that.
No, it was Canada
And
Post. But with Canada Post,
oh, okay, Canada Post. Okay.
kind of got backed up a lot, and there was a lot of hiccups with couriers and dropping things off. Like I would typically we would have somebody come and pick up packages, but during that whole point, it just got to the point where it's like we just got to bring them. We have to bring them directly to the depot because it's just we don't even you book a pickup, you don't know. And then with like UPS stuff, when UPS we use within Canada, you'd go there to drop off something, and it would just be literally the whole thing. It's just floor to ceiling, wall to wall, with people dropping off boxes because they were the only game in town that could deliver something to someplace else in Canada, right? So it would just become like it would just become outrageous, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know and here's what some of the people don't understand as well is the financial challenges that it comes with, you know, sending and receiving things. And that works both ways. I mean, for both parties too, you know. And you know, if you're going to do certain things, you know, understand that if a challenge like that where you have these carriers that are doing this and doing that, then there's of course that delay, and it just takes longer for you to get your saber and stuff like that. So it's always a good idea to go and check when your saber is on its way out and when you should receive it, and then keep in contact. And I think Dave has done an excellent job at trying to, you know, let people know, hey, it's coming, you know, be patient, you'll get there.
Yeah. With a lot
But then,
sorry, go ahead.
you know, then there's a lot of people that may not get it because then you have thieves that when it's en route and, you know, it's really out of your hands because you can't do anything about it. And it's like, oh my God, you know, what's up, KB? What's up, 3H? And I tell you, um, you know, for the people that have their sabers en route, and you got these damn thieves that are taking it, either one because they already know what's in it in that package, or two, they pay attention to certain things and know that they can get away with it for whatever reason. And unfortunately, there's no way to really diminish that sometimes, you know, and especially when they're a part of that team that is supposed to get it to that person, and that just makes it really difficult. And
And
I
claims
think,
are claims could be really tough too, because I've had a couple of things shipped internationally and they get very tough on that stuff. And sometimes you don't even see your money if you put in a claim. So, usually I would definitely hand out the tracking numbers for both parties. You know what I mean? Because without that, you're really, it's very hard. I always make sure that the client's got tracking numbers too, so they could be a part of the team too. It's not only about, the other guy, you also have to watch when your product comes in. You want to make sure it's safe as well. So, and that's
right.
also,
Yeah.
that falls upon your own delivery service. Hey, why didn't I get my package? It wasn't his fault, or vice versa. So always keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I should say that DHL has historically been very good about most of this stuff. And there's been, we've had a couple of hiccups, especially the last couple of months with things not scanning like right away when they're being dropped off or issues like that. But when it comes to actual Saber missing, historically that has been incredibly rare. The biggest issue that we've had has been basically since that whole strike happened, price shifts on everything. For example, at the first of this month, all prices on our shipment doubled because they changed their box requirements, and now we ship in a nondescript box specifically to avoid the situation.
The overcharge.
And they're like, oh, well, now this is too long. You have to shorten the box, or else you pay double. So most of our shipments that we placed this month came back to us at double rates. And when we charge for our shipments, we don't charge to make money off of the shipments. It is literally, this is how much it costs to ship plus the box. So on top of everything that's gone on, and all the compensation that we've added to people's orders too for the delays, to have it be like, oh yeah, this is like an extra $40 to ship this package, has kind of been like, why didn't you notify us of this? But I wouldn't. I've had historically really good experience with DHL, and they've typically worked with us on a lot of things. So I don't want to sound like I'm bad mouthing them. That's just how business is right now.
No, that's good to know, though. That's good to know, because that we need to have people understand how things are working, because when you've got upset people, they're not understanding the problems and the things that are going on to get the Saber to them. And so I want to give the limelight to all of the challenges that come along after the Saber has been, made and done and working and so forth. Then comes the shipment, and then there comes that kind of, hurdle with things. So,
and most people don't
again,
experience any of that. Like, it comes within, but for the States, it's typically next day, honestly. But yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It sucks when, oh, hey, something's up, this didn't scan right, or whatever the issue is. It sucks. Right?
Mine usually goes to the next town. I don't know how it goes to another town. It's so funny. Sometimes I get a shipment directly to where it's supposed to go, and then I track it, and it winds up doing this loop-de-loop thing. So it's just a matter of where they put it on that day, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
this is not my that is not my purview. I am a designer and a coder by trade. I can make things work, but the logistics of trying to organize that kind of thing would just, no, thank you. That's not my.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
I know how you feel, because
it's crazy.
It is, because I ordered something from up North Texas, and it would have taken the courier to bring it directly down to San Antonio, and within a matter of 6 hours, it would have been here in Corpus, right? Because from Corpus to where I ordered that part from, was basically an 8-hour drive. 8 hours, mind you. It took them a day and a half to get here. For whatever reason, it went from up there to Dallas, from Dallas to San Antonio, and then from San Antonio finally here in a day and a half, when it should have been just a matter of 6 hours getting straight here. I'm like,
most of these
really?
agents, they literally just send them to like a hub, whatever the hub that's closest to your area is, and that hub distributes from there. So even if you've ordered something, like if I order something from Edmonton, there's a possibility that it could go to a hub and then come to me, right? That's just how it works. No, it's kind of like that's I don't know. That's how they.
But stuff like that, people need to know about, because it's not what you think. I mean, you think you're going to get it here in a certain amount of time, and it might be the case that it does, but then again, there might not be a case where it doesn't, and you just kind of have to trust that you'll actually get it. I mean, there's not much you can do about it when it's in transit. I mean, you know. And that's the sucky thing about it, that when it's in transit and you can't do anything about it, but just keep tracking it to see what happens where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I can tell people: just keep tracking it. If you have a tracking number, and if you are having trouble finding that tracking number, go through the carrier, and go through your direct where you got the Saber, wherever it's coming from, and keep in contact and see what that tracking number is, and do it, track it, because for anybody who's buying Sabers and stuff, if you don't have a tracking number, it might be a little sketchy. So make sure that you go and get places, reputable places, that have tracking numbers, so that you make sure that it may get to you eventually.
I remember the time when we never had that. Remember when we used to buy things from the store and they used to ship it there, and you used to have to wait for a week. And if it didn't show up, if it didn't show up day number 8, then you call the store. Hey, where's my package?
Yep.
They never gave us anything before, man. Back then they didn't have all that stuff. It's now it's so easy to do any kind of tracking and get the numbers. So we're pretty fortunate in this day and age.
Right. It really is. And but I want to ask you this. I know, and I know I know the answer, but I'm still going to ask, because I think it's a lot of fun to ask sometimes. When you're making Sabers, do you have such a joy working on the Saber? Um, completing the Saber, starting the Saber, or what is the most enjoyable part of the Saber for you, Dave?
That's a tricky question, honestly. Because we're semi-production, right? Like we do build quite a few. Like I've put together however many Evoflexes in my time. For me, the biggest joy comes from holding the metal prototype for the first time. Like when this one was finished, came off the machine, I got all the parts, I put it all together, and I held the completed thing in my hands. You could feel the weight of it. That's when you're like, yeah, Jedi, look at this, right? When it comes to the everyday building of the Saber, I guess the most exciting point when you're going from beginning to end is kind of just that first firing up of the heart of it, right? So you get the hilt assembled, you're like, yeah, this is awesome, it looks really good. And then you get the electronics and you fire that up and you're like, okay, this is awesome, everything's the way it's supposed to be. You put it all together, you set the switch in, and then you fire it up. And when it's all completed, that first ignition of I just made this is the most exciting part. The completion aspect of all the things that I've learned and all the things that I screwed up potentially on the way there, or I put this in the wrong spot, whatever it is. Because even if you've done these 100 times, you're going to screw up once in a while. You're going to put the wrong pin in. You're going to miss.
And we just have a conversation about that, Mundo.
We did. We did, man. And Dave, because it's so funny, because when I first started, man, me being the dumbass that I am,
true,
it really is. See, and Dave, I don't know if you know the story, if you've watched the show enough, but and a lot of people do know this, and I mention it quite a bit. But when I started the hobby, I started it because my best friend Roy Harrell. He passed away from brain cancer in 2017. And to honor his memory, I made a saber. I actually started watching videos from all the, all the greats that started, Shamim and Mad Cow, all those guys I started watching, and I became friends with Space Windu, Anthony. And, Anthony really took me under his wing and showed me a lot of things as well. And for me, I I decided that I was going to run instead of crawl with this hobby, man. And I end up getting a couple of CFXs, right? And I started wiring things up, but of course, I was kind of I like I said, I was running before I could crawl, and and I actually burned up a couple of boards, but because I didn't check myself fully in knowing how to check for things, I really didn't know, because when I started um, by making Roy Boy, and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to take the blade out real quick, and I'll put the blade back in. But this is Roy Boy. This is and I don't, and I'm gonna have to apologize because I don't think I have the right um, card in it right now. But this is Roy Boy right here, and let me show you right here. Now I've made my own clamp card along with the button system, right? I am running a version 3 of the Golden Harvest on here, and in this, I do have, and it's like I said, the other, um, let's see. So the chassis that I have on here and is made by Rich Sangillo, and Rich is in here in the comments too, and I can't thank him enough for everything that he's done for me, just the same, right? And so I painted the chassis, and if you can see, um, he's really a great chassis system on here that I have. Now I did contact Albert, right? And Albert had produced one for me, and I don't. Let me see, where do I have that other chassis in here? Let me see.
The old organized chaos desk. My desk.
I'm telling you, my desk. I mean, I tell you, I've got everything is like organized chaos, but not anywhere near organized.
Yeah, you don't want to see
I got
that.
things all over the place. Ah, damn it! I guess I ain't got it right here. But he produced a chassis for me, and Albert is so awesome, man. From Smuggler's Outpost, right? And when nobody when I was asking a few people, and he was the one that helped me quite a bit. He made a chassis that went directly into here, and so for the rest of the hilt, right, for the rest of the hilt, in this part right here, all the wires were in here, but I didn't have any protection for the wires, so to speak. All the wires were just in here, just floating around. You know what I mean? And what I ended up finding out 2 boards later was that a single strand stuck out of the jacket of the wire. And at that time, I didn't understand how to look for certain things when I was wiring boards up and swinging things around. So for the longest time, when I was swinging this around with the first CFX, it probably went around 2 weeks, and the board started, you get that little smoke going, and it was like, what's going on? And I opened it up, and all the MOSFETs in
The
the board
worst.
just, yeah, all the
I think
MOSFETs in the
everybody has
board
ever
just,
helped with CFX. Like like dreads that potentially happening, right?
Yeah, we've had our share, man, definitely for that. But yeah, unfortunately, I love their boards. So their boards are
And
really cool. You know, they've got good features too, but
Oh yeah,
very,
right,
they're very temperamental.
everything has its hiccups, right? Like that's just how it be.
yeah, everything does. And Rich really loves the Golden Harvest, man. And I have to tell, I mean, I have to say, Golden Harvest is a really great board too, man. Um, so you know what? Hold on here. I'm gonna put this together, and I've got my sound card in here, but I had put my friend's voice on the Kenobi font, and I don't know if it's on this one or if it's on the other one, but I've got the battery charging, and but like I said, this one here, take that off. Oh, by the way, I love this little battery charger, man. Oh, this thing when the custom saber shop had these, man, it's one of the best little chargers in the world, man. This, and I don't know if they still carry
Huh.
these or not.
Probably not. That thing. That thing that's old.
It's ancient, but man, it works great.
Well, looking
I
at
mean,
that,
I can.
like, where did you go? Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Oh my god!
I'm an old-fashioned old fart, man. I'm an old-fashioned old fart, man. What work, like you said, what works don't fix it, man. I'm telling you. So let's
It's like
see
my
here.
collection of old Profi boards, man. I just took on that whole collection. That was
So,
great.
yeah, put them in like an epoxy table or something like that.
Actually, no. I put in a glass case, and I just left them there, and they're all just sitting on their own little pedestals.
Oh my god!
I have if you've ever made a circuit board before, they make a stencil for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stencil is basically a big metal sheet
Right.
that has all the holes cut out so that when you put the solder mask on, like you can put the solder on, and so I have all of the stencils, the original stencils for all of our boards, and they're just like big metal frames, and I just like backlight
Very
them,
cool.
hang them up, and like the little all the little holes like glow.
That's
I don't have
cool,
one
man.
up here, but like they're fun. I like to build
Like wall hangings. You know, you could put NeoPixel behind them or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Shadow
Right?
It lights up the whole thing, right? Like because it's just
That's
it's
cool,
like
man.
a big flat steel sheet, which is like the board pattern in the middle.
That's
Right.
awesome.
Wow.
Modern art. It's very cool.
Very cool.
And Three Edge was talking about he wanted a light shield, right? And on here in the comments, I was like, "Oh, dude, like what? That would be amazing to see a light shield."
I actually have something like that sort of built already because I have.
Oh, really?
There's a shop local to me called Dark Age Creations, and the guys who run it are super cool. But they sell shield bosses. And a shield boss is like a big. You know what? I might actually have a shield to show you what I mean.
Oh,
wow.
like that. Oh wow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is this? So I have one of these just sitting around that I was like, you can put the electronics in the back and then have the rest be polycarbonate.
Man,
Uh-huh.
I like Viking stuff.
that's a wood one though, right?
Oh yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, that's the real deal. Yeah, it looks nice.
I have.
Wow.
I actually have there's a box over here. I've got a full 10th century like Viking aesthetic with like the
That's
riveted
cool.
chainmail. It goes with the swords up on the wall that are behind
That's awesome.
behind you guys right now. Because I try to build all of our sabers to feel like actual weapons, and the only way to do that is to have one.
Mm,
And I have a lot.
that's amazing. That's cool.
And then hasn't been on the show in a while. And then and then Three Edge Swords. I'm sorry, man. Three Edge Swords hasn't been on a while. And Three Edge, I wanted to let you know, dude. Happy belated birthday. I tried the last show that I did with you on it, man. I thought you were gonna come on the following show, for your birthday, and just I was gonna give you a shout out for your birthday. So I know it's really late, but three swords, man. Uh, Roy Boy is wanting to play a little bit, man. So let me see if I can get Kenobi's on here, and she. Let's see. Now my battery might not be charged all the way because I only charge it like for a couple of hours, and with that charger it takes a little longer. Now Vendari is a really good font.
On your last web, Spider-Man.
That one there is Mountain Sabers.
I like that.
God, I love that one too. Oh man,
That's a good one.
this one too from Mountain.
I laugh every time I hear that thing.
I do too, man. It puts a big smile on my face. Now, Master of the Grey by Jedi FX is really good, and he has some other ones that are pretty decent too.
Celtic Jedi.
Oh, the Celtic Jedi is really good. That one is a Highlander font, and it really sounds really good.
This is General Kenobi.
Here we go. Okay. Now, let's see.
All guests have arrived. Let the negotiations begin.
I think I have that font somewhere around in my library of nonsense.
Let's see here.
Choose blade effects.
No, don't want to do that. Okay, this might not be the board that I have my friend's voice, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off right now so we can continue talking and stuff. But whenever I turn it on that particular font, when it boots up, you'll hear my friend say "¿Qué pasa, mama?" And that's how we greeted each other every time we spoke on the phone, right? He would tell me that every time he answered the phone from me, and I wanted to reflect that. So now I have my brother, immortalized on the saber for the rest of my life. And when I die, I think I'm gonna give the saber to either his brother or his son. So that they can have him for the rest of their life.
An
That's
actual
cool. Yeah,
heirloom
that's cool.
saber. I dig it.
Yeah. So if I don't have it buried with me, I just might.
Why not? Or just add your own voice to it or something like that until eventually it's just like a living monument to, many.
I might have to do that. That's an idea, man. I never thought of that. Really. Now, Dark Barris, do you have any plans for the next con to go to?
Well, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the next one is Connuga, and that is, I believe, in I'm looking, and I need to find. Nope, not that one. Yeah, it's the next one is on the weekend of February 21st to the 23rd. So that'll be fun.
Man, I tell you, I was this close to getting the Lost Acolyte, but of course, Bills had to come around and take over before I could.
Yeah, it's not available it's right now sold out on KR Sabers, I think, or the Saber Armory. So, but I'm sure they'll make another run of them, something like that.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will eventually. And when they do,
yeah.
I'm gonna put them
right
on. They have it available empty, actually. They actually have it available empty.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
So
right now, I'm just taking it easy. I'll just show you my wall. After I sold off my Ultra Sabers, in mid 2023, I decided to revamp my entire collection. So most of the stuff I have is LGT Nexus Sabers, including your the Ebon the dark saber that's from Electrum. I actually did just get a empty adamant from Saberforge, and it's a great looking hilt. I mean, especially for clan saber, and I'm hoping to get that installed by the end of the year.
Oh man, that's interesting. Oh, that's awesome, dude. I hope you really do get it installed. That'd be cool, man.
But
Awesome.
also my primary focus is, besides having my Anakin and Yoda master replicas converted, I also want to try and at least grab one of the Darth Sidious Hasbro sabers, because look, the ones that they have out these days
That's a good
are
idea.
great. They're beautifully made, but I prefer my blades to have 1 inch, so that I could actually duel with them, like not like that. And I actually messaged you, James, or someone from Mountain Sabers.
It was me.
Yeah. I mean, I get why it would have to be why it would be that price, but if I do end up getting one, I'll definitely I'll definitely contact you around Christmas time for a holiday.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean, that's like ballpark, and the runaround, it's mostly parts. I mean, the labor is easy. The only thing I have to figure out is just to design a custom chassis for it. That's what I love to do about that. Get it so that it fits exactly proper, and then you don't have any problems. So that's what I'm always focused on all the conversions that I do.
And so, I know that some people have done it before.
Oh yeah, sure.
But the problem is that they don't like share a version of their work where it can be more public, especially when it comes to converting master replicas, Hasbro sabers, even Galaxy's Edge sabers.
Understood. Yeah, sure. Understood. Yeah. Well, if there's something that people are interested in, I would have no problem selling the STLs or supplying them. I mean, it doesn't. For me, that's a walk in the park. For me, I love doing that. So if anybody's interested in that, and after, let's say I converted yours, if you wanted to pass along the word, no problem. I mean, they would just get the same file that you would, or if they want the job done.
Yeah. But like I said, I have my master replica sabers converted. I actually I'll show you, and give me one quick second.
That's another one I'm working on.
The last one I did was a Galaxy's Edge Kylo, and that thing is like great. That's so much work involved in it. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many hours, but it was a lot of fun to do, and it's amazing now. It's ridiculously amazing now.
Yeah, this is a 2007 MR. Luke ANH, and the guy who did it, he's on Etsy. He's not he's just incredible. And what he did was he added a non-removable chassis where the profit board and the
I have the same one. I designed the same one for it. So at least you have the access to get to everything.
Father's light saber.
Yeah. The NeoPixel.
Damn, that's loud.
And
That's loud.
The NeoPixel pins, they don't light up on the inside, but they still, but they're still pretty good. So.
Yeah, this is a CC Sabers. Oh my gosh, really? This is a CC Sabers.
Oh wow.
Pins.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just.
I got my Luke too. This is my Luke too. Same one.
Wait a minute.
I have a CFX in this one.
Wait, did you add screw knurlings onto yours at the end there? Very nice. Yeah, I originally
it's the same. Whoops, sorry. I'm screwing up the camera here, but I'm trying to get it. So if you could see,
do you have any more?
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. I love this.
I actually was on the hunt for the Empire Strikes Back version of the Master Replica hilt, but the thing about that one is that there were very few made. So ultimately, I'm probably just going to end up getting just an Empire Strikes Back Force Awakens version of it, which LGT just released their like second iteration of the Graphics, and it actually looks really good. It looks much more like the authentic version, like what you see from KR Sabers or even 89 Sabers.
Yeah, I've got an '03 Vader that I'm kind of working on back and forth, with everything else.
A Master Replicas one, right?
Yeah, it's a Master Replicas '03 Vader.
I have that one as well. In fact, it was the first collectible lightsaber I ever got, and it's on its way back to me now. And the guy who I sent it to, same guy who did my Luke, he added the wires to the one from Wanawanga onto it, and it's not exactly accurate because the Vader Hero hilt didn't have wires on it, but I mean it still looks awesome. And I mean, besides the Hasbro Palpatine lightsaber, I was considering getting like an LGT or TXQ version of the Vader ESB, but the cool thing about Master Replicas is that I think of all the hilts that they sold in their Force FX line, the Vader Empire Strikes Back hilt is probably the most mass produced. So finding
I would tend to agree with that.
What?
I tend to agree with that.
Yeah, because like I can look on Facebook Marketplace, and I found some of them selling at $50 a pop, even with the blade, and it's great because it's one of those pieces that, look, I'm not gonna keep it with the original electronics. I'm gonna strip them out before I send it out to be converted. But it's nice that, yeah. And sorry, I'm losing track of time with talking about it, but but I would say the Hasbro Palpatine and Empire Strikes Back Vader are my last two Force FX sabers that I will ever find with. I was going to do Windu, but the fat pommel end is just thick. And I ended up going with an X-Tech hilt, which still fits 1 inch, and it looks very good.
Dave, do you have any MR hilts?
Not really anymore, honestly. Believe it or not, my actual personal collection of lightsabers is very, very small. I tend to only buy saber hilts now if I am particularly attracted to the hilt and want to support the person who made it. I'm very big on buy local. I do not buy like LGT, TXQ, X-Tech, stuff like that. Like if I want to buy something, I want it to be handcrafted.
No, I understand that.
And I'm not like, I don't want that to be taken as like, oh, I don't like the Chinese sabers or anything like that. I'm just my personal. I personally like to shop local and support local, and so I find that the best way to support the people that you care about when they have a business is to support their business. So my collection.
I totally agree. I understand completely, Dave. But the problem with that is that when you buy local, you also need to have a pretty big wad of green in your wallet, because
it costs more to make stuff like that.
I mean,
yeah, it does. I get it. I am not a rich man by any stretch, despite the collection of nonsense. But I'm not a rich man because I have a collection of nonsense accumulated over the next long years.
Yeah,
I hear you.
My family talks behind my back about my saber collection, so don't worry.
But like for my collection, I think right now I used to have I just sold it actually. It was the titanium dragon from Divinium Customs, which was awesome.
Oh wow!
But like some of it, I just basically was like, I kind of need to pare down some things here, and ended up selling that to somebody who appreciates it.
Divinium does some excellent hilts, man. I mean, he's just
Good stuff.
On
I do have a
collectible stuff.
commissioned hilt from him that was commissioned many, many moons ago. That's still in progress, but that's because it's got a very wacky crystal chamber.
Oh,
It's Elder Scrolls themed, which is going to be really cool.
oh wow.
Nice.
The inside mechanism is supposed to look. I assume you've all played Skyrim, but
No, I've never played Skyrim, but I know a few people who have, and I have seen all the jokes and memes involving Dragonborn.
there's a story mission that you have to do, basically a quest that you have to do, where you have to retrieve an Elder Scroll from a Dwemer ruin, and in order to retrieve it, it's built into this basically like big mechanical thing with like a bunch of dials and gears that align a bunch of like discs in order to focus light to actually open up and read the Elder Scroll. It's like a very sophisticated arcane device, and I'm like,
So you
I want the
basically
circle chamber to look like this, and Will was just like, what? You want it to what? And that's what we
Wow.
made. I think I kind of just like, watched him make it and gave advice, but he's the one that designed it. It's still not done. I don't know when it's going to be done. I'm kind of just like, it's going to be done when it's done. But that one will be cool. I did just get an SP Sabers Darth Maul, which was awesome.
Yeah, SP Sabers is one of those
Yeah.
companies where I'm
Yeah.
hoping that even though they don't sell them anymore, the site isn't up. It's nice to find those every once in a while,
Yeah, I think he still has a collection of some of them if contacted for like different saber hilts.
Didn't he make a deal with like another like overseas like I think it was Saber Mock from Singapore.
Might have been. I'm not 100% sure with that one. All I know is I just ordered it from him and it was awesome.
You know what's
In terms of collections that I actually have on hand, I've got a couple of project hilts I will never ever work on because I found better hilts.
oh wow.
I get the feeling.
It still has a Crystal Shard 2 in it.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
and a bunch of Ultra Sabers, and then of course a couple of Electrum Sabers.
I think
This
I still
one-
have one of those boards
you
sitting
just,
sitting in my drawer somewhere.
and it's
Wow.
actually this one's actually signed by Ray Park.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Oh man.
This
Great,
is my pride and joy right here.
great.
Yeah, so
And
kids-
actually this piece right here is signed by
Oh,
Ray
yeah.
Park as well.
nice.
And actually, and this is actually goes on to Roy Boy. And
Oh, wow.
see
You know,
if I can.
Dave, I was actually looking the staff that you just held up. What is that exactly? It's
This is an Aegis. It's 2 Aegis sabers with blackout strut, light weathered, gunmetal cover tech with red standard switch plate, and all the LEDs on it are red. This is still rocking a D3.
oh wow.
It was
You
built D2 when it was initially signed, but it has a D3 in it right now. I'll probably upgrade it eventually.
You know what you should do as a future design is try and do your own version of Bastila Sean's lightsaber, because I'm just looking at that, and if you were to like do the end prongs like how they did it and how it looks like in the game, but more like weathered, but still has that bronze shine to it, you could, I think, pull it off.
Come on.
Well, with this one, the actual struts are modular. So if you wanted to, say, put shrouds or something on there, you can. Like, we actually sell parts for our Renegade Saber, shrouds, blades, and stuff like that will fit on this.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, wow. That actually
So-
looks really cool.
Is that where you put
Yeah.
it? That's pretty wild. That's pretty cool. What is that slide?
Yeah,
in
this
there?
was. Yeah. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. This is the total design out of the whole thing right here.
I see.
When I designed it, I had to have it like this, and that was the whole design. This needs to be up just a little bit, but I kind of wanted to have this a little bit more down this way, so I'm gonna have to kind of sand it down a little bit and bring this down because
Shim it.
shim it. You think so?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you could
I
get
want
Finn
it
to
to be
work for that.
I want it to be a little unorthodox with it. You know what I mean? Most people have it lined up and everything. Man, my buddy was so sideways with all kinds of things. He went from project to project. I mean, whether he finished it or not, it didn't matter. He was into so many things that it drove me nuts because sometimes he would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I want you to do it with me, man." And I'm more like, "Sure, dude. Whatever you want, man. Let's go for it." And and then the year that he got sick, he actually beat it, and he was cancer free for about 2 years, and then it came back aggressively, and he went pretty quickly after that. So I had my friend when he was first diagnosed for about 10 years, and after the 10 years was up, God called him home. But like I said, he was sideways. I mean, he started all kinds of things, and we did all kinds of things together. And this particular hill, this particular build, it is just reminiscent of who he really was. I mean, he did everything, jack of all trades. He, I mean, he made me do things I could never dream by possible of myself doing, and let alone, I tell you, this build, even after death, he made me do something I didn't think I was ever be able to do in my entire life. So, Roy Boy stands to this day,
Mhm.
for me. And when I first started the hobby, and started working on Roy Boy, the first thing that I did do was an Ultra Sabers for a cousin of mine, and it was a non um it didn't have much any of the electronics in there except I did a full metal chassis from TCSS, and no sound, just this light up saber itself with I believe it was a 30-inch blade, and I took pictures and I took a few videos of it, and I was really proud that I could actually afford an Ultra Sabers at that time. 30 bucks, you can't beat a hilt for 30 bucks, when you're starting out. And I got it within a week, and I started working on it, and I finished it probably about 2 months later, and gave it to one of my cousins. And then I felt confident enough with Anthony's training and a few of these other videos that I'd seen, and I started working on my first blade. And this is not my blade, but I have a white one that I worked on, and right now it's gutted out because I'm gonna make a new blade for myself, and a couple of and I've got some 7/8 inch blade stock that I'm gonna make a 7/8 inch blade too. So I've got some blades up in my to-do list, and hopefully I can get those done pretty soon and continue working on those, um, as well as a few other things that I want to, get taken care of, as well as, eventually I'll get to the Evo Flex and get that one, reborn. And I'll do Dave, I'll do you proud, man. I know I'm going to put it up on here on the show when it gets done, dude. So
Right.
that's for
If you need
sure.
anything for it, just let
And
me know.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And so with that's in the project, and as well as my dad's memories hilt is getting worked on right now. Um, I'm gonna be testing out the I got a bunch of junk right here, all this spaghetti, but I'm just gonna be testing some of this stuff on here right now. Um, is just to test the speaker out right now so I can make sure that the speaker's still working pretty decent. But here is I'll show you a little bit of the balance. Oh, let me see. Hold on. I got to take this down a little bit so I can screw in. Do, 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 do. Close it up. but Dave, I'll show you. This is two, and then I don't know. I put two emitters together, and this is the balance right here. Let me see. And this is what the balance will kind of look like right here.
Oh yeah. I mean, as you can tell, I like a good control box, so I kind of use
Yeah.
them a lot.
So under the clamp card, I will have uh magnets, as you can see right there. And and I should have not put these wires on there together, but I did it anyway because I was just trying to test out the speaker and I didn't get a chance to test it out. But if you can see on the inside right here where the chassis is, there is some magnets right there. So I will end up putting, where is it? Oh, here we go. I'm going to put this stuff down, of course. And if I can get this and then that, and I got a little deal right here with some of those magnets on there. Kind of hard to see. I apologize, but let me see. There we go. So then if I put it on there, then that you can see right there will end up getting onto those magnets on there, and I should be able to press them down. So that is the little magnetic system that I'm working on for the buttons right there, and see how that's going to work out, right? Let's see here. Apologize. The U word, Jim. Oh my God, guys, I'm sorry. The best people I've ever met, Spacing. Yeah, man. Of course. I tell you, you know, and it's so interesting. And Dave, I also want to reiterate though, also, man, I love the way that you made those training videos for people on your sabers, like you know, putting the fonts on there to do the certain things for the sabers, you know, to all the help that you gave for your sabers, you know, before all this mess happened.
Yeah, I got to do more.
I really enjoyed all of those videos because it helped me understand a lot of, you know, the potentiality of the boards and and what they were, how you do certain things to make sure that your saber was running pretty smooth. And you
Mhm.
know, I don't I never seen a lot of companies do that at that time. And and then, you know, I think shortly after I had seen you do those, then the other companies had followed suit and started doing that. And all along, you know, like Anthony and Mad Cow, they all showed certain things. And of course, when their sabers were done, they would show how to do work your saber, you know, button wise and so forth, and how to open it, how to, you know, do certain things. Those things I find very invaluable because if people buy sabers, learn the damn thing. I mean,
Mhm.
don't just play around with it and not know what you're doing. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and because if indeed you're going to treat it as art and utilize what information comes along with it, utilize how to work it, and utilize everything in the instructions. If you're an installer and you know utilize the information that you have along with that particular board that you're going to put in there, because then when time comes, if you have questions and those who know the answer, that you can go to those. But I find it a lot more attractive in finding the answers yourself sometimes, because you get that self satisfaction of like, oh shit, that's what it is, you know. But again, like James has always said, and I have said too, for me, since I am dyslexic, I have a hard time reading things a lot of times. So I rely on a lot of visual things. And again, thank you for the videos because those videos help me do a lot, with things too.
Yeah, not everybody
And
can read a bunch of documentation, right? Like sometimes it's just nice to see. Here's the saber. Push the buttons in this order to achieve this result, right?
right. And
Yeah.
some people may not have the time to do that as well. They're on limited time, whether it be because they have, family things going on, they have work things going on. They might have an hour, they might have 30 minutes, they might have whatever limited time they have. And or they just, okay, I don't want to work on this, for a couple of months. I mean, that's the thing. So visualization, along with other avenues of information, is a great resource to know, sabers if
Be
you're
right
getting
back,
into
guys. I'll be
that.
right there.
Okay, sure, no,
Be
no
right back.
problem.
1 second. I'm here right now.
Yeah. uh, Here we go. And then, yeah, there we go. Long road to get my Evo, but there was such a standard price. See, totally worth it. Yeah,
I
that's
try.
what I want to hear.
They really
Yeah,
do.
that's
It's
yeah.
a labor of love, and I'm going to keep doing it until things are caught up or it kills me or both.
No, Dave, I foresee a lot of great things now that you're getting things ironed out, man. I really, really see good things happening for you. And I know there'll probably be a few more challenges in the road. Um, but I think the hardest part of the challenges that you've faced not only made you stronger, but better than what you have already previously done. And I think Electrum Sabers is just going to be a household name, even to this day, to tomorrow, to the future.
I hope that
You know,
yeah, I hope that
I,
that's the
I,
case.
I,
I hope people in the
I believe it
community
in my heart.
and everything like that. Like, it's all about keep innovating, keep building, and get people everything that they need and build awesome sabers, right? Like, it's just that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah,
I just
absolutely.
I just want to build like I've my backlog of designs is so crazy. I've got we've got this one. This is actually the prototype. The finished version actually has numerous changes, like a spinning crystal chamber and OLED.
Oh wow.
Um, we've also got a curved hilt that a lot of people have been asking for. We've got, I had a bunch of other wacky ones. An Errant 2.0, bringing back the Errant with a new revised design and modular components. Oh man, a mountain of stuff. I've actually even done designs for other saber companies on contract here and there. I
Mhm.
won't say who or anything like that, unless they feel the need to. But I want to get back to that design aspect of the business. That's what I like to do is the design.
Mhm.
But got to get everything out the door before you start throwing new stuff into the works, right? Like that's what we're doing.
Well, and like I said, you are on the right track. I mean, you're making things right. You are going balls in and getting it done. And that, my friend, is more than anybody can ask for. There'd be some people who probably like Jim says, they throw in the towel when something like that happens, but you didn't. You ran with it. You said, this I'm in it. I'm in it for the life, and you're not gonna push me away. And I commend you for that, dude. And that's why I wanted you. And like I said, I'm so honored that you came on because I believe in you, your company. I believe in what you do is going to bring so much joy to a lot of people once they get, the ones that have been affected. I think once they get the sabers that they've been actually wanted, and they're going to be happy after a while. And I know it's a little late for them, and you know that doesn't matter. That I think that once they get a good working saber in their hand, they will be changing their minds. And you're providing that now, and it's going to be good. And I can see.
Sorry.
If you are designing so many sabers, you've got so many designs in mind. I can't see anything but a bright future for the company, man. And I'm so honored to know you and to have bought from the company and to know that the future of Electrum Sabers is going to be around for a good while. And I wanted to highlight that because I know, you've got some heat, but we're here to make sure that, hey, we're good. Everybody's gonna give you a second chance, man. And Electrum is gonna go far. I can see it. I really can. And you have all my prayers, and I back you up 100%. And I'm really glad that you're going forward with this too, because that shows that in the events that you get some more hurdles, you're not going anywhere, man. I mean, you're not going anywhere. So
It's
thank you
there,
for
right? I
sticking in there.
appreciate it. I really just I'm with everybody else, that it's been a long road. And having been at the forefront of everything that was going on, I have skin in the game. Like, I put my own resources and things behind what happened. A good 30% of the investment that went into those developers came from me directly, and that's gone. That's right. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do because the company filed bankruptcy, right? And whatever happened to the assets is gone. Whatever. They didn't pay their employees either. I think the total they owed was something like $8.2 million to various creditors.
In U.S. or Canadian?
Canadian. The largest
still a lot of money.
The largest share of that was to a private. There was several private capital firms, and one of them was a U.S. based firm. So even like at the end of the day, the company had nothing, right? Like, so whatever money that was in there had mysteriously vanished. And there's court documents and everything publicly listed that you could search up. We've mentioned like who this company is and everything like that on our website. We actually have on every Saber page a notice saying, hey, this happened, which means that orders will take longer. This is why, full transparency. And we routinely update it as we're notified of information. The company, I should say, that the assets of the company were bought out. So it's under new management. So the company that exists now is not the same business as the one that screwed us over. So I don't want people to I'm going to go find this company and it'll send them some angry emails or anything like that. They're not the same people anymore, because those people are gone, running new businesses and whatever have you. Like, I don't need to get into the specifics. Or
you don't need to. Yeah, no, you don't need to.
Trying to hunt down and harass people. That's not what I'm about. I'm about moving forward and not trying to dwell on negativity and stuff like that. Like that, as that money's gone.
And that's the basis for the show right here is positivity, moving forward. And that's what I wanted to portray with everybody who watched the show tonight, is to make sure that everything is going forward, everything is getting fixed, and eventually people are going to have good sabers, and we're going to look forward to some good stuff coming from Electrums. But the most important thing that I wanted to make sure is that the positivity within all of this is that the positivity is mostly important. We're here to have a good time. Sabers is to have fun. Our hobby is to have fun with these things. We are escaping a reality from our hardships, from our everyday grind. And for someone to get a hold of a saber that means a lot to them, for a saber that turns on and just forget about the shit that happens during the day. You have a bad day, you come home, you turn on your saber, you light up that blade, and everything else just disappears from the world. You know, that's what it's all
My
about.
mini Graphics. No.
Oh, the mini graphic.
Oh,
No,
wow.
this is
No, I've
actually
got-
a
I've
true
got this.
vintage. This is a true vintage Graphics.
Oh,
This is how it actually.
Oh,
Now we're
Yeah.
talking.
So this you could see all the rust. This is all true vintage stuff, man. This was actually the real flash gun, and and I have all the
and
original parts for it.
it's really weathered.
Oh, it is, yeah. So
It's
I
called
mean, it's got
natural
a.
weathering.
It is
Wow.
totally natural weathered, but I did
But-
convert it. So I got my own chassis in there, and
Oh, wow.
backward speaker I did because the sound is crazy cool like that, and just put a Profi board in there, and guess
What clamp cards you got on it?
this guy comes out. I designed it so it comes out of here too, so it's pretty wild. It's the clamp card is that's a good question. I think it's just a regular standard one. It's not. It doesn't really belong with this.
Looks like an ESP.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a
ESP
regular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a regular. I didn't have the one that the one that came with.
Wait,
this.
can I say it again? I turned my
Have
head. I apologize.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it just has the regular clamp. The regular type. It's not. I want to find. I have another bubble that I'm probably going to use for this, but
Oh well, see, and as a matter of fact, you know, like I was showing you that I
this
did.
thing's fun
Man,
though. A lot of fun.
I did
It's so
my
small in my hand too, but I'm gonna do my little fan film with this one. I have a fan film that I'm working on. Hopefully, I could get it done, this spring or this summer, and it's gonna be really cool. It's just, me, a guy in a Saber, and a couple other little things I'm gonna work on. So I'm hoping to get it done. Get it done.
Here's one of the clamp cards I've been working on.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah, see,
So
drilling all the
that's
holes
one.
there.
Yeah. So I've been working on a couple of these clamp cards like this, and then I got the circuit boards here. Like, the wife is like like this and like that. So here's another one that I've got right
That's
now
nice.
that I've been sanding down. And then, of course, you've seen this one, right? So I got about 5 or
Yeah.
6 different kinds that I'm kind of working on. And man, I tell you though, sanding these things are a booger with the hand. My God.
Yep.
It can be a
I
little bit.
I take and I cut them out with the Dremel, but sanding them down to the box one low profile, yeesh, man, it takes a couple of hours just to get them sanded and get them right.
Yeah, luckily ours, they just come like on a snap tray, right? When we do ours, because we run them.
Yeah.
Man, that would be great.
Right? Well, we do have I have tons of them, right? Like I could easily like hook people up with them. It's just, are there control boxes sized for them?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know why, but I love from TCSS, the box one, the low profile is really awesome. And on Roy Boy, I've got the regular size control box, right? The V1 box one on there. Now, the reason why I did the regular box one
Wow.
is because I have the LEDs that are on here on the inside. So if I turn it on, you can see I've got the LEDs right in there, right?
Nice.
And then I've got the LED right here as well. So, and then if I change colors and everything else on top of that. Now, when I'm, I don't know if you can see, is it even coming where you
The
can
light's
see
coming
that?
through. I see it.
Yeah.
Light's
Okay.
flashing.
Yeah, the flashing. And then I think it does on here as well. So when I press it, there we go. So it has those effects on there just
Oh,
like
running
that.
in the same
just the
sequence. Yeah, it's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good old accent LEDs. Can't go wrong.
Nope. Love
Can't go wrong.
lighting up the box, man. It's a lot of fun.
It really is. It really is. And it took me a while. It took me a while to get that because the little accent light there first. I actually put a rice port where it was, and because I wanted to use the rice port to plug in everything. But what I found out was that the metal pin, when inserted in there, it would spark a little bit. I'm all like, God damn, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, that would
So
be a hazard.
so I decided to get one of these from is I think the place is called Altex, and this one was just a red LED by itself. So what I did was, and it's a 5 millimeter. So I took out the 5 millimeter LED, and I bought one of those mini I think it's a 3 millimeter LED, and put it in there. And because it had all the other colors on it, I was like, man, yeah, I think that's gonna work a lot better than the rice port. So I took out the rice port. I probably worked on this damn thing. I probably rewired it like about 7 different times before I finally got it right.
That's how it
Right.
be. That's how it be. Especially when
That's
it's like
how
a
it is.
saber you didn't, you're kind of experimenting and learning as you go, right? Like, so you kind of have to improvise a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Your initial vision has been completely like erased in favor of like what it eventually became.
yeah.
Which
And
is how
and
I
when I
love
see them,
drawings. I love
Yeah.
drawings because once you do your initial drawing and then you finally change it that 8th time, you come back to your original drawing and go, "Wow,
this
how
is
simple
oh
was
my
that
goodness.
back then?"
And it's funny because I can't draw even if it to save my life, man. If somebody put a gun in my head and say, "Hey, draw this, draw that," you might as well shoot me, dude. Because I even screw up stick figures.
Hey, I'm working on that. I'm working on that 3D print for the 3PO, the inside head. So I don't know if you saw that on my Facebook page, but I'm
I
working on
did.
that.
I
It's
did. I was going to
coming
ask
out.
you about that.
I just finished printing all the stuff, man. So now I'm in the process of sanding and gonna paint all the parts and everything and get it wired up and stuff. It should be really cool.
Oh,
It's
I
gonna
can't
have the
wait to
red.
see it.
It's gonna have the red and the yellow lights, for changing when he turns to read the Sith scrolls and stuff. It's gonna be really cool.
Oh, awesome. Dave, I see a helmet back there. Do you do helmets, or did you do the helmet yourself, or you bought it?
We have a full costumes department now.
Oh, that's
That's
cool. Really?
right. I did see that. Yeah. You're doing the Mandalorian stuff, right?
That pre-Beskar set that's over here, that's actually for sale on the site.
Oh,
Excluding
sweet,
the
man.
helmet. The helmet is my personal one. That
Oh,
I
wow.
use for the Beskar version that we do at conventions
Nice.
and stuff like that. You'll see photos of it. I do need to maybe eat a little bit more salads and go for some runs before I put that thing back on again. I think.
That's like me, man.
That's but yeah, we do the costumes and stuff like that. We're actually working on I want to do more stuff, more sci-fi props and stuff like that. It would be great. Space Marine helmets would be cool, like Warhammer stuff. I know it's not really like Star Wars, but it's just nice to experiment and do something different. Yeah, I saw that as soon as
I love this thing, man. It took me forever to 3D print this and build it, but
Oh,
I got the light too.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Oh, that looks great, James.
Isn't that pretty wild, man?
Oh, dude, that is badass.
Yeah, the back's all cool. I weathered everything and just glued it all together. This was a multi-piece because it was so big, but it's because this is super huge. Like I don't have the biggest printer in the world, but I got a big bed. But this is pretty wild. I got the light. That's
Wow.
Yeah, just love collecting these.
I love that kind of stuff. The best.
Fallout series for me was badass. I loved it.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I was super stoked about the show. Actually,
I'm right too. Yeah, I'm so stoked about it. Yeah.
My goal eventually is to do an R2, man.
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
One day, we actually have a working speeder bike.
Really?
Yeah, we not last. Was it last year? Maybe it was last year. We went to the Calgary Comic Expo, and they have a parade that they do every year. And one of the 501st members had built like a speeder bike to ride it on, and like the base of it was an electric
Cool.
bike.
Dude, that's awesome.
When he came in after the parade, he walked by our booth because it was on the way to the 501st booth, and he was like, "Hey, can I? Do you guys know where I could park this?" And we like had a big open spot because we had a spot for photos and stuff when people came by. Like, you can park it here; it'll fit in with like the decor because we had like a backdrop and everything like that. Okay, sure.
Nice.
And just like didn't want it afterwards. We just left it there the whole weekend. So I'm like, I guess. Sweet. He's like, yeah, I don't want to fly this home. And I'm like, okay. So we like rebuilt it to be a little bit more sturdy, and then brought it to GameCon, ripped around like with that thing.
That's
which
so
is
cool.
awesome. It's in my garage right now.
Oh
Yeah,
man, you
that's
gotta do a
cool.
video on that thing. Do you have videos of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
that'd be sick to see. That'd
I
be
might
sick.
even have a photo of it on my phone. Hold on. Let's see if I
Oh,
can-
get out of here. That'd be awesome. That's cool stuff.
Oh yeah, it was a
Right.
wacky fun thing. Let me see if I go.
So, Dave, are y'all going to cons? Quite a few cons, or?
No, we don't really do like we've never been the big convention company, and it's like when we do convention stuff, it's not for us. It's not we're gonna make a bunch of money at this con. It's kind of just like us engaging with the community and meeting people locally and stuff like that. Especially in recent years, with the resellers that come to the conventions, there's a lot of them that like there's a new one every year, and their say the way that they do sales is a little bit aggressive and problematic, honestly, like with the way that they badmouth all the other vendors there. I don't particularly enjoy the convention scene in terms of the actual money making aspect of it. It's not ever been that for me. I'm not like
Well, I mean, they're trying to make a product. I mean, for example, I last year at Con Nuga, I met I met Gary Ripper, of Ripper Blades, and I mean he's a nice guy, and I mean he's not going to badmouth you. He didn't badmouth Vader's Vault, who was also there, and ultimately, even if it's a reseller like Hooked on Sabers, they're not going to like badmouth. I've spoken with them personally, and they have enormous respect, especially for the OGs. Yeah. Obviously, they don't have respect for Ultra Sabers, considering the owner. But most of them are really decent guys, and they're just trying to do the same and make a buck, just like you would, Dave.
I'm not there to like. That's the thing. When I go to cons, it's like I might have some stuff on the table, but it's not. We don't go to them to make a bunch of money. It's mostly just an engagement kind of thing for us. Like
it's to show your brand. That's what it is.
We go to the
show your brand.
We go to the Calgary one, which is it's fine, but we also go to the Edmonton GameCon, and I really like that convention because it's run very old school convention style. People who are there genuinely passionate local people rather than serial pop figure sellers and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's kind of just that's a better vibe.
It sounds like there's a lot of respect within that particular con as well. So
exactly.
I find it very important that respect goes a long way in any industry, but with any hobby as well. And anybody, certainly certain companies that get a bad rep for certain things, but at the same time, if they're not willing to change their ways, then people should be doing their homework about that, and people who strive to do the right thing and fix their mistakes have to be commended again. But nobody should be disrespecting anybody, no matter what, where you're at, what you're doing, and so forth like that. In terms of being in the same hobby, if you're doing a particular hill or this and that, no one particular hill is greater than the other, because in the end, what I find in the end, it's all metal, it's all wires, it's all sound, and it's the people that make the saber, that are worth what the saber is. You know, if you find good people, you find good sabers. You find bad people, you're gonna have bad sabers, regardless if they work or not. You know, and I've been fortunate and blessed enough to know some great, amazing people. You know, all everybody that's on here with me, everybody that's in here in the chat with me. You know, much respect to everybody and everybody who is actually on here watching, you know, the show tonight as well. Because without you guys, without the people watching this, and without Anthony, without Mad Cow, you know, Rob Pet Cow, without Shamim, without all of the OG people, everybody who has contributed to this hobby, you know, deserves, you know, some respect in that, you know, we're all here because we love Sabers, we love Star Wars, and that people who provide immense pleasure for us in terms of the Sabers, in terms of even the guys that make the boards, and you know, and Dave, I mean, the boards that you had a problem with, but now are having great, you're going to have great success with, that what you moved on to, you know, those aspects like that, like you said, you know, you can't get to a future without taking some steps down and then build yourself back up. Everybody who has had problems, everybody who has contributed to the greatness of boards, the evolution of boards, the evolution of sabers, the evolution of technology, you know, needs to be commended. And again, all of those people,
And supported.
regardless, yeah, the support
And
system.
supported. Support is a big thing. You know, you may have opinions
Hmm.
and ideas and all this other stuff, but these guys are the ones that are actually making the stuff. They're actually doing it. They're creating the programs. Yes, they are sending it out there, and they want our opinions and our advice on certain things that, you know, wait, what would you like to see? What would you like to do? What do you want? These guys
Yeah.
are on it, man. They are on it.
Hmm.
So that's my 2 cents. I mean, I'm seeing so much stuff come out of these programmers and videos and everything that, you know, I can't even keep up as an installer myself and a sound font maker. You know, I have to study more now. there's a
Yeah,
lot
right.
there's a lot
A
going
lot,
on, you
a
know.
lot.
So,
You
and I
know,
really need to dig in for like a few, you know, at least a week for me to get, you know, the GH4 down, you know, but everything else is, they're really doing a remarkable job, and they need props for it.
yeah, they do. I mean, everybody, and even the, like Megtooth, for instance. You know,
Yeah.
he may not be doing much in terms of sabers right now, but man, you know the videos that he produced on teaching people those things. Rob Petco,
Yeah.
you know, teaching people how to make blades. I mean, you know, putting the sound fonts on things. Benji from Nerf Herders, you know, um, all of these guys that, you know, that influence what we have today is just phenomenal. And you know, I have to thank everybody. I have to, because like I said, without any of those people, we wouldn't have what we have today. We wouldn't have the technology that's coming up. We wouldn't have the ideas that are coming in now and in the future. We wouldn't have, I don't think, we would have the love of Star Wars, but I don't think that we would have the type of saber technology today. And I think we would still be where we were at years ago.
Still be using
Had
text editors for everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, for pioneers and people like Dave, because when you start trying to build something and elevate it to where it needs to be or where it could be, then we really start getting into the good stuff. And
Oh, a lot
it's
of
such a
people, when
joy.
they see what could be done, when they could see what could be done, they always want more. You know, it's like it's a very simple human trait that we all have. You know, it's like, oh my god, that thing lights up. Can it flash too? You know, so there's a lot of
Mhm.
different variables with that. You know, and they are, like I said, there's so many different companies out there that are doing really amazing work, man. It's amazing work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. It's
Including you, my friend, Mr. Electrum Sabers over there. That's some amazing stuff. Oh yeah, mine was a remnant, by the way, and I want to say I love the way that thing felt, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
this one's
I
actually
love the way that thing
Lovely.
felt.
themed,
That's,
like Gimli.
that's the one.
It's got
Oh,
a,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Did you etch it?
I love the dwarvish signage on it. Very nice.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, man. Yeah.
And for me, man, I really like that Evil Flex, and
That's
and
well
I
balanced
intend,
too, because I had the base
it
lit one.
really
Well
is.
balanced.
oh yeah,
I
that's
intend to get a
one of our
second
best
one. I
grips.
intend to get a second one.
Yeah.
Lot like nice tapered grip. You've got a choke point here, low
It's
profile.
really well
control box.
balanced.
Like that's a two-handed saber or a nice one-handed
that's-
saber.
And it's a tough sucker, man. I'll tell you.
All one piece, right? Like it's meant to be beat up for sure.
You bet. You bet. And I think I have the Diadium 3 board in there. You know, it's got the little kill switch on it, the original chassis, and the original battery.
Oh yeah, that thing had like I have D3 cores that I've like pulled out for swaps and stuff like that. And I've put this on the shelf or whatever. And I've like gone back to it and been like, oh, hey, this board's sitting here.
Turns off.
It's still on.
Great.
Like the battery management on it was like ridiculously good. Like
it really is.
Yeah,
really
John from Collector's Outpost here. Welcome, dude.
Oh, I found a picture of that speeder, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. This is the first iteration.
Oh, dude, yeah. Dude, look at that.
That looks awesome.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, it sort of focused on.
Man,
Wow.
that is great.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it hauls ass. It's awesome. It's so
Toys are
cool.
great.
I don't know if I have a
I'm
video
getting
of that.
Dark Knight Bat vibe. Batman. The unicycle.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, from the Dark Knight. I'm getting vibes from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a sick motorcycle too, man.
Yeah.
Somebody I saw, I don't remember who it was that I saw, but I had seen a Batman hilt saber. Somebody had
they're
made
doing
one.
it.
Yeah, I think
Valhalla, I think.
NG Sabers did something like that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Man.
DC Sabers did one
Thank
too.
you.
A Batman
Yeah.
saber. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
think
hey,
I have a
since Collector's Outpost is on the is watching this, I want to give a quick shout out to you. Thank you for pointing out with the new when you were reviewing the TXQ saber, how Ezra's hilt had the green olive drab section on the in the behind the scenes photos, because that really makes a lot of difference. And I own the LGT version of Ezra's third hilt, so I definitely want to get that all squared away when I have the money and I have the time to do that. So, and I've already seen pictures of people modifying them to look more screen accurate. So thank you for pointing that out.
That's cool. See, that's what the Sabers community is about, man.
That's what it is. And that's why I do the show, because I want to showcase stuff like this.
Yeah.
Man. I want to showcase
it
people.
either, man. It's everything is supposed to be out. You got to have the right thing, If the colors are wrong,
Right.
it should be, well put out there, Definitely.
Yeah. That's why I kind of like try to build. I don't like do replicas, because like everybody kind of like sits there and goes like, oh, well, mine's most accurate because in this scene,
very
like,
hard.
Actually 0.3 millimeters instead of 0.29 millimeters. And
Well,
like,
I just want to say that your
not
Dark
my thing.
Saber,
Screen accurate stuff sometimes, yeah.
your Dark Saber replica that you did, I like especially because, look, like I said, I like to duel with my lightsabers, and besides like the SE version of
Let me see the handle on that one.
Yours is
yeah. That's it.
So
and when
it
you
was the
open it
first
up,
oval grip Darksaber, and if you open it up,
when you open it up, it looks
has
like custom inscriptions, Mandalorian. It looks
very
really,
nice.
really nice.
Yeah.
And I just like it because it's able to fit a blade. And
oh god, that's sweet, man. That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
you got Clan Vizsla,
Yeah.
the Mythosaur, and the Mudhorn, right?
That's
And then you've
awesome.
got the Ironheart.
I like that. Yeah,
Love that
that is
Jesse's
cool.
nice,
The
man.
Mudhorn is badass. Yeah, for sure.
And then
What I
it's-
recommend
you can use a round blade or a flat blade if you wanted to.
Nice. That's sweet.
with mine, I actually got one of
I love
the
the dark saber.
crackle blades, Xeno crackle blades, because it works. It works with a dark saber hilt and with the font especially.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a nicely
Very
weathered too. I
cool.
like that one. I like the look of that one.
Most of my sabers end up like looking like
Yeah,
that.
weathered. Yeah, you know what? The remnant was the same way. I loved the way it was like naturally just that was it. You know.
Mhm. Yeah,
cool.
and like with this one, we actually like in the show, it's supposed to be like black, I guess, depending on the lighting.
Yeah.
We Pantone matched this to the Alumiluster paint because it was supposed to be made out of Beskar. So we made it Beskar color, so it actually is the same color as the helmet over there.
Oh, that's a
Wow.
great color
Okay.
scheme.
It's like the same.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like our take on it. So even
Yeah,
even our
great.
closest replica is not a replica. It's
Right.
an idealized based on what we liked, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The chassis.
I think
You know,
that's important though. That's what sets you apart. You know what I
That-
mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do
That's the whole
replicas.
point.
They've been done
Right.
already.
Yeah. Right.
Like I like the inspired stuff. Like even this one, like I've got kind of like this whole emitter here is actually
Mhm.
like more like the Empress Ray kind of aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Where
let's-
like the
Sure.
whole lower end of this is very much like a Darth Vader Star Killer kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's long. Yeah.
Yeah. Still,
I like the chambers.
this one's
Nice.
a little bit long, wider around than most of our hilts because we build them very slim, but it's even still it's pretty.
That's pretty thin.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
Yeah. See, for me, in my opinion, and I know that some people are gonna probably, say stuff, and it's okay. But everybody's got opinion. But for me, I don't have to have that incredibly accurate saber. If it's pretty close to it, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I just for me, if it's a Graphics with the badass, look and pretty close to, let's say Empire Strikes Back. Hey, if it doesn't have to be that absolute accurate to the T type thing. If it looks like it, it's a done deal, man. If it looks close to it, hey, it's a Graphics. I got it. I'm happy,
Yeah, everybody who looks at it knows what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty easy to tell. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
and I
like
tell
original
you,
stuff though, man. Original stuff is the best though, man. I mean, original takes on things are to me, that's my line of work. I love doing original things myself. So
Mhm.
that's just my opinion. I love to see original material and original builds. That's
yeah,
that's something
original
I've always
works. Yeah,
yeah.
I think
and
for
that's
a lot of
that's the best thing.
we started doing like the reveal chassis aesthetic for a lot of our sabers, like the Evil Flex, the Renegade, the Scion, stuff like that. And I really like that aesthetic of like a longer, handle, kind of like on the Scion here, where you remove it and you still got lightsaber.
So much.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it feels more authentic to me when
Absolutely.
even when you take it apart and you're looking at the battery, it's still a lightsaber because the experience is still there. This is probably like our best selling model is the Scion. People just really like
that one. Looks not. Yeah, I've seen that one a lot, man.
It looks
a lot.
It almost mirrors Ben Solo's lightsaber before he.
Yeah, it's very much like the Jedi Killer Ben Solo aesthetic, but slim
definitely cool,
and
man.
made more economical, not economical, but like
refined.
Sure, yeah, like it's still got a tech feel, but you can use it. You're not going to get snagged on a bunch of junk.
Yeah,
right?
see, that's the other thing. Yeah,
nice and like soft and
that's nice.
It's offset. Like this, you've got like a plate here, but it's still smooth and
still got plenty of grip.
And then you've got your switch is in there, and it's still like a center point of like, hey, this is a piece of
I
technology.
love that's my
you need to fire it up.
that sells
But-
it for me right there, man. That sells it for me. I love that switch. That's like
Yeah.
my favorite thing. I love it.
And even on the Profi 3.9s, they support touch now, right? So you still have like
Oh,
the
okay, yeah, right. That's right. Yep.
right.
I know. So awesome.
You know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like some of Rob's from Storok Sabers, his original, you know, hilt designs and stuff like that.
Oh
He's
yeah.
come up with some fantastic hilts, man. And it just, oh my God, him and then Jeremy, you know, from Solos, dude, their last hilt looked pretty damn cool.
Makes me
And
want to design my mountain sabers now.
I
I'm gonna have to get on the drawing board and make my own now. I got to make my own model. I mean, I have to now.
Yeah.
dude, I've got a few hilt designs up here. I can't get to paper. I don't know how to draw
Yeah.
and I don't know how to design stuff, but I have a great design in mind, but I just can't get it out in the real world yet. And hopefully one of these days I can make it a reality, you know.
And
And
the software
I think
nowadays, some of it's pretty good, some of it's hard, but you got to pick and choose which one you like to use to create the material. Create the build.
yeah.
Say.
Back when we did designs when it was when Electrum was still run by Curtis and myself together. Curtis is not he wasn't like same way. He didn't draw or anything like that. He would just kind of like pencil rough ideas out or explain them to me, and I kind of got to a point where I just like took what he was saying. I was like, I think I know what you mean, and like drew from right? Like that's just kind of how I've learned
Yeah.
the design now.
I do, however, I know I'm going to be making some hilts from TCSS. You know, I'm going to start out that way, and once I get myself going, I've got to finish what I've got in the background and if my father's saber and these other projects first. But once I get those done, then I can move on to doing some designs from TCSS and be selling some of those and getting money towards doing some better and bigger things like that eventually. Not very big though. I mean, I don't want to get too big of anything. Just like you said, Dave, a lot of local stuff, and if need be, send a few things out, a little ways, but nothing like probably across the world or anything like that. I don't think I can afford that. But at the same time, just a little something for myself and be able to afford some of the other hilts that I want to acquire and stuff like that right now I can't, and eventually I'll be able to, hopefully. Um, with that though, all the positivity and everything, I'm glad you guys have come on. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed, and Dave and James, and Barris. I mean, you guys, make the
It's
world
great to
go
meet you,
round. You
Dave.
guys,
Great
Yeah,
to
great
meet
to
you
meet you
both.
guys.
Seriously.
Definitely,
Yeah.
man. Good to see you, Darth, man. Good to see you, man.
I mean, you guys make the world for me because doing this show is a lot of fun. And Dave, I hope you come on again, man, because
Yeah.
you know, whenever you can, let me know. You're always welcome to come on this show. All of you guys, you guys don't need, an invitation to come on. You let me know you want to come on, you come on, right? And
Very cool, man.
and
It's
and
always
and I will send you. I will send you a link. No questions asked, man.
Yeah.
And that goes for
Mr.
anybody.
Mundo, send me a link tonight. I want to come on.
There you go, dude. I
Yeah,
mean, that's it, dude. That's all you gotta do. And I want to encourage other people too, other saber makers and other font makers as well. I mean, you guys want to come on, you guys want to hang out, you want to talk about your fonts, talk about your sabers. Come on and let's have some fun. And because that's what this channel is all about. We're here having fun and talking shop, talking sabers and having a good laugh, having a drink. And it don't matter what the hell you drink. You drink beer, you drink whiskey, you drink Coke and drink water. I don't care, man. We're here, and again, it's like I say, we're sitting across the table, we're having a drink or a meal, and we're talking about Sabers. That's what I'm doing. That's what I love to do. This is what we are meant to do. And I tell you, a lot more fun to be had, and a lot more guests to come on, and we'll see what happens, man. I hope certainly everything worked out for other things that didn't happen, but we're going to have some other guests on. I know that I think there's some 501 Legionnaires that might want to come on. I need to talk to them and see if they're willing to come on. Other Saber enthusiasts that I can look forward to. Maybe some old school OG Saber makers. I'm hoping maybe, I don't know if he will, but let's see if I can get some Shamim on here eventually. I don't know if he will, but we'll see. I can ask, and
I
all
bet
I
you
can
he
do is
would.
ask.
I bet you he
And
would. He's a cool dude, man.
yeah, he really is, man. And I tell you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to get my friend's voice on the Saber. So, I
There
have
you go.
a huge shout out and thank you to Shamim for that. And I tell you again, my philosophy for everybody who comes on the show, it's always an invitation, never a have to, man. And that's always going to be the thing.
A
I
lot of
I
fun, man.
understand people got things to do and life and work and everything else on top of that. So when you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. It's all understandable. And again, um, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys, anybody watching the show tonight, you like and subscribe Mountain to Dave at Electrum Sabers and Darth Barris. On Facebook, you can find me at Mundo Cabrera the Third. Or Mundo at Instagram, uh, Mundo Cabrera 7007. Okay, on Instagram. And if you guys, you can email me at _Cabrera CABRERAIII at yahoo.com.
Play
Um,
that back 10 times
um,
fast.
yeah, right. um,
You're gonna have
I
to.
mean,
You're gonna
I'm
have
up for anything, right? I'm telling you, man. And if you all miss and make sure you like and subscribe to Civilized Sabers too, because Anthony, the show wouldn't be possible without Anthony. He started Saber Talk, and I'm hope that I'm able to do justice to the show because Anthony, Gabe, and Harris were the three amigos that originally started Saber Talk, and Anthony entrusted me to take the show where it is now, and I could not be more grateful to Anthony and all the guests that have come on here, all the guests that will come on here, because without your support, without you guys, um, and Charlie, I hope you had a great workout, dude. Uh, Scott, Jim,
That's
all of you
cool,
guys,
man.
I love
He always
everybody.
does his workout with the Mundo show. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
and I tell you,
Cool.
I love
That's
it though,
cool,
man.
man.
I
You know
love
what?
it. I
That's
love it.
awesome.
Now that's what we got to do next.
So,
It's just like a big gym.
yeah,
We'll start a movement.
right. So
It's
a
pretty
lot more
cool.
fun to be had. And guys, again, thank you all so much, everybody, with the love and support of being here with the show, and a lot more to come, a lot more fun. And if anybody has any questions for anybody, do their emails, whatever have you will. I may not have all the answers for a lot of things, but these guys and everybody else who does have answers, we can all find them together. And that's what it's going to be about. We're going to be one big family. We need to act like family and not kind of battle each other. So, Sith and Jedi alone, well, if you're in the Star Wars, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Sabers unite.
I'll clarify that battling is fine, as long as it's the right kind.
Yeah, light battling.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and for those who want to follow, I have an Instagram channel up. It's the Southern Skywalker. look me up on there. I post new things when I get the chance to, and yeah. So yeah,
He posts some good things too, man, and Mountain Sabers too. And be sure to check out the 3PO things that coming on, man. I can't wait for that.
It's coming,
that
man. It's
3PO
coming.
head.
It's gonna be probably one of the favorite things I've done so far. It's 3D modeling, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be really
All
crazy.
right, guys. I'm gonna
Yeah, man.
sign off. Have a great night. Thank you,
Peace.
guys.
See you guys.